Hello and welcome to Utopia News, another Warcast with your host Wind. Today is July 7th, year 1. This is age 92, age of ancestry. We're approaching the end of the day here, and we have quite a busy show. We've got a few wars to look at. We're going a little bit more in depth than usual. Going to look at some things we haven't looked at before, and also going to test out a new system to kind of help highlight things on the screen as we go along. We are still going to look at the Barco War. However, that will happen a little bit later. Not as much happened during it as I was hoping. Unfortunately, there isn't too much to talk about. However, there are still some important points to touch on, especially since these are two top kingdoms that will be, competing for the top of the charts. So definitely something, two different kingdoms to watch. Definitely a good war to learn from, and I definitely have all the insight with regards to what went down and how it looked. Definitely felt that way for one king. But without further ado, let's move on to our show for today. So here we are in our lovely YouTube screen. Thank you to all our viewers for watching. We're going to dive right into the target finder. Okay, here we go. Now I believe I was messing around with some stuff before I came in here. So I just need to make sure I'm logged into the right target finder here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely logged into the right target finder. Last thing I want to do is lose my spot here. So just going to do a quick look at the top 10 kingdoms for today. Definitely after that victory, Barco shot up quite significantly in land. So, they're kind of controlling the top of the charts now, followed not too far behind by 4-9 beer for a week. And then not too far behind, Duck says Quack. And these other kingdoms aren't too far behind either, but still, getting pretty close to that 20K line. 10,000 acres is a pretty big difference to go across the kingdom. So let's go right into the wars. Okay, let's see if there we go. Okay, so just take a quick peek at what's going on. Doesn't look like we missed anything new, definitely. So let's move on to the first one. Our first war, Pound Town War versus Metallic Recruiting. Now, this war has been looked at in a couple of our other videos. Wacko specifically mentioned in the Muga chat, like, how is Pound Town doing this? But wow, okay, that's a huge development right here. Definitely a big land drop happening on Pound Town's side. This is a perfect time to test my little paint tools here. Let's see how this works. There we go. Yeah, so there's a huge thing going on there. To kind of look at that, all we need to do is go down here. Oh, it's too bad that it goes away. I'll have to figure out how we're going to make that work later on, and possibly get a different extension so we can illustrate a little bit better. But yeah, let's take a look at what happened to that province there. I mean, not huge changes here. This is about half the acres on this province. Whether or not that was this drop here, I mean, they went from 9,300 to they lost about 1,000 acres across it. So there's probably a wave that just happened there, a very strong wave um, from metallic, it seems like. Looking at the net worth side of things, definitely seeing that drop again. Something definitely happened on Pound Town side. Still, 5 provinces heavy on metallic side. Let's take a quick look at the Seraphim formatter just before that dip happened. Um, Unfortunately, I grabbed it right before that dip, so it'll be interesting to see where that 1,000 acres came from. But definitely, I think a wave happened. So looking at what's going on here, we got metallic on the bottom here, 3-2, and Pound Town at the top. Pound Town definitely looking pretty good acres wise versus the bottom here. Um, not the same to be said for metallic over here. A lot of provinces in the negatives, not too many high positives. In terms of attacks, Pound Town, this is how they're winning. They're definitely out attacking metallic. I mean, look at the attacks. Some of the number of attacks down here are pretty low. To at least, some of these metallic or some of these Pound Town guys are in the 10s and 12s. Quick look at the uniques reveals. Maybe Pound Town's a little bit more on top of their game, more of their provinces are marching 4 or 3 times. But as I said, I think we just missed Metallic's wave, so these numbers have probably changed a little bit. They're maybe a little bit closer, but it definitely looks like Pound Town is a little bit ahead. Since we grabbed this data here, um, Again, looking at the net worth chart here, I just want to take a look at my notes that I have for this war. Um, so yeah, essentially, let's see if I can do this at the same time. No, it's not going to let me. Okay. So, oh, there it is. It saved it. That's pretty cool. Okay, so I'm just going to erase that line. Awesome. So according to here, on June 1st, an amethyst dragon from Metallic has begun ravaging our lands. So we know the target finder is a month behind. So June, let's get back into our thing here. So June, we're actually looking for May, and that would be May 1st. So May 1st is about right here. They dropped an amethyst dragon. Kind of strange. I'm not sure why they're going with an amethyst dragon so early on, but by all means, go for it. There's definitely better dragons to use. I don't think they have that much science on them right now. That's a terrible A. Um, let's just see if I can do this instead. There we go. Okay. Oh, geez, this thing's a pain. Wow, okay. So it wants me to like review this thing now. Go away. All right, let's try that again. So amethyst, amethyst. I'm just gonna call it that because I'm too lazy to type it all. So they dropped an amethyst there. Um, let's see, they began another amethyst dragon about 4 days after that. And then Neopets has slain the dragon on June 6th. So that dragon didn't last very long there. Pretty much where May 6th is, you can see that line there. This is where our Amethyst Dragon dies. So RIP Amethyst Dragon, Fluffy the Third. And again, on July 3rd, so not too, almost 24, a little bit over 24 days after, on July 3rd, the next Amethyst Dragon drops down. So let's take a quick look here. I'm gonna get used to this. June, July. So June 3rd, right there, they drop another amethyst dragon. Roughly about here. Yeah, so that's the only way it's gonna do it. Okay, so yeah, about here actually. So kind of right in that line there. Have to bear with me while I get used to this new style of doing things. But here another amethyst dragon came in, and and then after that dragon, there's a dip in the net worth. So maybe the dragon has something to do with that. I'm not sure, but definitely the dragon does something. I mean, it's not responsible for that dip, that's for sure. And of course, the dragon's still alive. Oh, hold on a second. I spoke too soon. Twins has slain the dragon on July 6th. So that would be June 6th. So possibly, that could be partially representative of someone suiciding the dragon. And they took a big land drop there, but I don't really see the evidence in the provinces to indicate that. Maybe it just happened just as their wave was happening as well, which I think is more likely the case. So they were on their wave coming out on this one. So definitely explains what's going on in this war here. Some other notes with regards to this war. Pound Town has had a ritual, looks like for the entirety of the war. It's possible that they abolished metallics, but I feel like metallic had no ritual going into this war. Uh, that being said, Pound Town's ritual is only onslaught effectiveness of 84.3%. The ritual could be lifted in 41 days. So they've definitely had it for some time. Maybe it was slightly overpumped. But for them, in terms of needing to kill the military, that made a lot of sense. I didn't see any dragons from their side. So I guess they're putting all their money into retraining troops so they can kill these amethyst dragons that Metallic doesn't have any issue funding. So it'll be interesting to see if Pound Town can actually take this war and make it hit them where it counts. Looking at the honor side of things, this is kind of cool actually because it shows you kind of where the dragons happened. as we switch across the charts. I really like that. Land-wise, I mean, you see, these dragons don't make too much of an impact on the waves, I wouldn't think, especially not this early. I mean, later on, definitely, I think it'll make a bigger impact. But right now, I don't think Amethyst Dragon is necessarily the one to go with. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think I could think of maybe a better dragon to be using in this war for sure, guys. I'm not sure what your reasoning is on Amethyst, but by all means, feel free to share it in the channels. So good luck to everyone there. Let's move on to the next one. Sweet, it looks like it saves it. Here we are with how come we can't fund dragons, have a break, have a Kit Kat. We looked at this war in past episodes, and this is kind of the pattern we were expecting to see. Kit Kat walking away with the war. Even provinces, Kit Kat's just the outperformer here. This war was, felt fairly one-sided, so I didn't really feel a need to pull the news on it because I wanted to focus a little bit more on the wars that were tighter to give a better understanding of what's actually going on, with tighter cross sections in terms of the comparisons here. So definitely, those are the kinds of wars I'm going to be examining a little bit closer. Not to say that there wasn't some great strategy and things that happened here, but definitely Kit Kat dominated here, and I'm sure they have plenty of fight left in them. So anyone that wants to take the fight to them, by all means, go for it. It looks like they're prepared. Let's move on to the next one. 9mm safety off. Now this war ended. Mythcraft managed to pull it back quite significantly, actually doing a good job, really sticking it to 9mm safety off. You can see the convergence and divergence here happened pretty early. I have some additional data on this war. I did actually pull the news as well because Mythcraft did pull back and win with a few provinces short. I wanted to check that out and see what was going on there. So yeah, see they got a nice honor boost from that. Let's go to the net worth side of things so we can look at the notes that I have here. Some notes that I have on the 9mm war and Mythcraft. Looks like, well, I definitely missed some stuff here, but apparently on June 9th, they slew a dragon that was ravaging the lands. So that would be May 9th. Is that what I said there? Yeah, May 9th. They slew a dragon. So, just after this line here. Oh, see it. Okay, so it does save the messages from last time. That's okay. We can just clear them off. So on the 9th, so about here, they slew a dragon, an unknown dragon. Not too sure what they had. Going on to the next one, a topaz dragon from Mythcraft has begun ravaging the land on June 13th. So, June 13th is not too far off. Basically it looks like once the Mythcraft's wave was done, they sent that topaz dragon over. So it's very likely that they were eating topaz dragons before this happened. Here we go. All right. Now, looks like, oh, and they like to switch dragons up a little bit. So after that, on the 13th, after sending a topaz, Mythcraft goes into an emerald dragon. And then looks like BOL on the 20th cancels their dragon, and then withdraws. So there was definitely a lot of pressure there. And then after the withdrawal, looks like they slew the dragon. And just to point out, it seems like the same person, quite never enough. BOL, props to them for killing the dragon. Not necessarily sure if they did all the works, but they definitely put their share in, I'm sure, unless they just like to camp it out and get that last kill. I wasn't able to get any intel with regards to the rituals on this one, unfortunately. It was a little bit too late, and I only have a limited amount of stealth, and the war is already over. So I know they're pumping into their affluence, but I believe I still probably had an opportunity to get one. I just didn't want to make my presence known too much to them there. In terms of the topaz, they're definitely feeling the pressure, seeing the military potential of the emerald, especially since Mythcraft is gaining here and could easily fund these dragons. Looking at the honor side of things, you see where the topaz kind of jumped in Definitely didn't help them land-wise. Kind of the same thing. These lines are a little bit lower, but you just translate this down. They killed the dragon. They dropped inland, probably because of the troops that they sent towards the dragon, maybe made it easier to get hits in. That remains to be seen. So great war, guys. Excellent performance, Mythcraft, pulling back on that war and beating 9mm with provinces down. Always good to see that level of coordination. Looking at the attack side of things from the news that we pulled, um, attacks made 50 versus 109. That's pretty significant. I believe I pulled this. This is on 9mm Kingdom. So, you see Mythcraft has double the attacks. Few massacres failed on one side. And as you can see, BOL definitely taking the majority of the damage here. Whereas Mythcraft is primarily, mostly grown from end to end in the kingdom. This looks like they have more armies, more provinces, marching armies. Definitely BOL's downfall in this war was just losing on the core side of things. But good fight, both kingdoms, and again, Mythcraft, excellent work. All right, let's move on to the next one, the Woods. Um, it looks like, again, Woods is kind of dominating on the land side. Network side, Woods still dominating. Honor side, Woods got this one. Looking down, it's even numbers. Well, sorry, one extra on the Woods, so we kind of expect them to be winning. Equal strategy, equal competition. Definitely flirting. Red Kingdom took a big swing up here to take them on, but they're just getting smacked right back down. So definitely keep fighting it. If you could pull it back, that'd be awesome. You're at 57 hours though, and it kind of looks like this trend is only going to continue. So, maybe, looking at the land side of things, you are doing a good job maintaining Red Kingdom. However, it doesn't seem like you're going to be able to pull the Woods down enough to declare victory on that one. But definitely, if you think you got something going on, definitely, you know, go for it. Don't let me hold you back. But I mean, definitely looks like the Woods is in control of this one. Um, so good work, Woods, for maintaining your position, and definitely keep taking that land in honor. Because if they don't want to withdraw, that's all you can really do. Let's move on to the next one. We got the Simpsons versus WTF. After this divergence here, it doesn't look like Simpsons was really able to pull back. Even on the waves here, on the land side of things, it doesn't seem like they're able to make any headway. Since they dropped down below this 12.5K line. Looking at the net worth side of things, so we can check damage more accurately. Yeah, I mean this lower staircase is typical in what you'd see in a kingdom. That's likely they're probably eating some dragons on both sides because of the decline in net worth. More significant decline in net worth on the one side. WTF definitely in control of this war. They got this bigger dwarf here, Chief Wiggum, but he's kind of low on net worth. They all kind of are at the top end. So, I mean, this could still go anybody's war, but to be honest, the way that the net worth and land looks, it looks like WTF is just doing more damage. But still, Simpsons is managing to maintain this position above 35K on honor. But again, WTF fighting hard to get above this line. So good war, guys. Hopefully, you know, the best kingdom wins. Let's move on to the next one. We got Winx Club War 3-5 versus Evil Friends. Let's refresh this page. Okay, so I got some more intel for this one as well because it was one of the closer, tighter wars. Even numbers as well. Looking at the land side of things, nice tough battle back and forth. Net worth side of things, definitely some decline here on Winx's part. Doesn't seem like they're going to be able to pull back. Probably some dragon play involved here. Looking at the honor side of things, definitely a tough battle. Winx maintaining their upper position. Evil Friends maintaining their upper position, but Winx is definitely taking a bunch of honor here in this war. So no matter what happens, I think Winx is going to walk away with some good stats at the end of the day. Let's go back to our honor side of things so we can look at the notes that I have for Winx. Now let's note that with regards to rituals, evil friends, that's 3.5, the red line, they are covered by an expropriation ritual with about um, 76.1 effectiveness left. So let's see if I can, and that ritual expires in 13 days. I didn't see a pocket ritual on there, so it's possible they're just getting close to the withdrawal point to see if they can just go and cast their. Yeah, see, that's not going to work. I'll have to actually type it out. Expro evil friends. That's a lot of work. 76.1%. All right. So, and then, I guess the upside here is I can just enter. Um, and then Winx has an onslaught ritual that's only about 48% effectiveness left over 48 days. So I don't even think that was a pumped. Oh, what the heck is this? I don't even think that was a pumped ritual. Um, Okay, yeah, it's doing something funny. It doesn't like that. But yeah, so I don't think that was a pumped ritual anyway. This program or this widget seems to be a tad bit glitchy. As I said, we'll work on that later. But again, Winx has an onslaught ritual that's about 48% effectiveness, so I don't even think that was fully pumped. Looking at the dragon side of things, the last dragon was sent to Winx Club um, on June 12th, so that's May 12th on the target finder here, which is about right about here, kind of right where I touched down the first time there. Like right about here. I kind of want to get it as far down as possible just to account for the other pages. Um, Now, I don't know what dragon that was, so we're missing some intel there. But that was dragon sent there to Winx Club. Okay, so they're sitting on some kind of dragon. And then, you know, Evil Friends starts an Emerald Dragon on the next day, um, targeted at Winx Club. And then on June 23rd, so that's um, May 23rd here. Let's see where that is. That's about right there. It's right at this dip here. Right here, a Sapphire Dragon from Winx is now on Evil Friends. Okay, so they've got a Sapphire Dragon now. Just go here. Oops, we already wrote that. Okay, yeah, so we don't know what they sent to Winx. But I'm thinking maybe it was another Emerald Dragon because, again, this army's dying pretty quickly, network's dying pretty quickly. So I'm thinking Emerald Dragons to kill those troops, especially the way they're dominating them. I mean, that kind of looks like an Emerald Dragon line. To me. It looks like the dragon was slain immediately after within the same tick on the evil sapphire side. So they slew it, before the tick ended. Good job. Always good. And it looks like um, Winx Club has begun another sapphire dragon project, um, which is yet to arrive. But I think it's doubtful that that dragon is going to do too much. They're probably hurting themselves more by sending that dragon. For the record, Winx still has an Emerald Dragon, which I managed to pull out of the news later. So we do actually know what was going on here. That was another Emerald Dragon, which would help explain, the net worth drop here on this side. So looking at the land, I wish I had a little bit more data on this war. But here, let's see if I can go to my cursor here and look at the land side of things. There we are. Yeah, I mean, the Emerald Dragon definitely helped them secure a little bit more land. Looking at the honor side of things, having that Emerald, the Sapphire was basically unnoticeable, especially since, it seemed like they did dip a little bit here probably, but again, they slew it pretty much right away, so probably not much time for Winx Club to do any real damage while the dragon was alive. Again, it was a sapphire, but definitely they're feeling this emerald, more so noticeable in the net worth side of things. Quickly looking at the news that I pulled on it, we got about even attacks, definitely less acres on one side, a lot of fails up here. But as you can see, Evil Friends is a little bit more positive on the acres, whereas the other side is a little bit more negative. It's pretty visible here. In terms of um, uniques, looking kind of even. I mean, a little bit more for Evil Friends, probably part of the reason why they're winning this war. So definitely good job, everyone. It's a nice, good fight. Again, I'm only looking at the wars that are pretty close to kind of help identify what's going on with regards to dragons, rituals, things like that. Um, here we go. So thank you so much for everyone for participating in that war. I hope it goes well. Again, we want to look at the Pain Train War. This is one, again, Wacko is wondering, what the heck is going on? How are they maintaining this war so well? Definitely looks like a big swing happened here just recently in the land side of things. Crazy, amazing work, Paint Train. I have to say it was also kind of hard to get into your kingdom. Not too many provinces were easy to get into. So a bunch of you may have noticed me trying to get in. Don't worry, just just the wolf knocking at your door, just sniffing at the entranceways for what you're having for dinner and such. Nothing to worry about, nothing to see out here. Anyway, great job, Pain Train. I mean, controlling the net worth. I mean, this is pretty obvious. So you're in good control of this war. You're doing a good job pulling that honor down. You really want to achieve convergence here and then mount your enemy when they're in the upper position so you can take their honor. Again, you're lower on provinces, so it's a little bit harder, and you feel it a little bit more, when you get hit. These lines are a little bit harder to converge with less provinces, less ops, so on and so forth, just less honor overall. I mean, these lines could be convergent right now if you had the extra two provinces. You'd probably be on the 30K line, and you would have achieved convergence and divergence several occasions. This line would probably be somewhere up here, to be honest, if you had those two extra provinces. So this war would be even tighter than it appears to be right now. So great job, Pain Train, for really showing us how having fewer provinces doesn't mean you can't have a great plan to win the war. Some things to note with regards to Pain Train, I didn't really see any dragons. Too much dragon play going on. These are pretty steady declines in net worth that we're looking at. However, there are dragons in play. With regards to the rituals, both sides are running Godspeed. Constellations, that's 5/9, has a ritual with about 65.5 effectiveness left. That's percent, and it's going to be lifted in 84 days. So I don't even think that may not have been a full power ritual when they launched it. Pain Train 5/5, 88.8% effectiveness left on their Godspeed ritual, lifted in about 67 days. That's probably an overcasted ritual. So great work there, Pain Train. Again, there are things you can do to account for those missing provinces. So definitely some lessons people can learn here, about the importance of rituals and dragons in play. Let's take a look at dragons here. Speaking of dragons, it looks like we got two that were in the news from the 2 month time that I pulled. June 6th, which is going to be May 6th in the target finder. An Emerald Dragon Choo Choo from Pain Train has begun ravaging the lands. So that's on constellation side of things. So again, right where that May 6th line is, it's very convenient that that's there. An Emerald Dragon is now on uh, from Pain Train is ravaging constellations. So they've got an Emerald on constellation. Okay. Which happens right at the same day. So again, very, very fortuitous. And then Pain Train starts Topaz Dragon against them. From what I can tell, there was no dragon on Pain Train. So, again, that's part of the reason they're winning this war. They got the more powerful ritual. Overcasted, they've got the dragon, which Constellation's still sitting on. So, if we just, kind of, let's assume that there was another dragon. I would imagine it would have been, probably right here. And, let's say they did actually slay it. So this would have been the second dragon that they're dealing with right now. You know, they definitely Pain Train has no problem starting an additional dragon right after sending that Emerald Dragon. They started a Topaz Dragon. So let's say there was another Emerald here, it might account for this additional net worth drop in to help kill those extra troops that the enemy has. And this is a pretty reasonable amount of time. You know, on average, it's about a month or just over a month that you could fund and send the next dragon in war, and this is what we're seeing here. So, assuming that this dragon was real, would account for some of this and would indicate as to, why they're doing so strongly in this war. Again, strong ritual, dragons, that's what wins, that's what's going to win you the war, next to strategy and having the right team, of course. So looking at the net worth side of things, again, it's kind of what we're seeing. Honor side of things, definitely, you can see how Emerald Dragons might be in play here. Honor a little bit less visible when it comes to the Emerald Dragon, but definitely you would see it in the land and net worth side. Probably more net worth and then land and then honor in terms of that. But yeah, I mean, these are great. This is a great visual aid. I hope to be doing this more in the future. So I hope everyone can give me a little bit of feedback on that to let me know how that worked for everyone. I hope it displays well and syncs up well and everything. Quick look at the uniques and what's going on here. Um, I mean, tax looks like Pain Train is definitely doing a little bit better. Clearly obvious here versus the Acres side of things. They got more attacks on them as well, about 30 more. Again, less provinces. Check the uniques. I mean, Pain Train, maybe they just had their recent war. Maybe these guys on constellations are slacking a little bit and missed a little bit behind on their hits. But either way, Pain Train, looks to be dominating this war. So great job, everyone. Pain Train doesn't have too many avians, so unless some of these other guys are half avians, that doesn't necessarily explain their additional unique time. So thank you so much. Congratulations, both of you. It looks like a nice hard fought war. Pain Training definitely in the lead right now. Um, nice strong performance with the overpowered ritual and the dragons in play. Great work. Constellations. I mean, you definitely had a good shot at this war. I think it's definitely just a little bit harder now with those dragons that you're dealing with. But by all means, prove me wrong. Pull it back and take the win if you can. All right. Let's see here. Close that. And next war here, we got our epic meme and orc melting parties. Um, you know, this is a funny war, 8 versus 8. We're kind of just looking at in the past broadcasts. So definitely an interesting tight war. Definitely was considering pulling the news on this one, but I don't expect to see too much going back and forth. But definitely, if these guys continue to go to war, I mean, it definitely would be interesting to see what they're actually doing. But again, it's not exactly, what the types of wars that we're looking for in Utopia. Again, this kind of goes towards, people who want to play in smaller kingdoms. Nothing wrong with that. I definitely think unless you plan on warring each other consistently back to back, you're not going to find too many opponents. But I mean, it definitely looks like they're fighting a pretty hard battle. So good on them. And I might just pull some news later just to see. We can possibly go over it in a later broadcast when one of them eventually declares victory, so we can take a look at what rituals they're running, what dragons they're running. So good job, everyone. Hopefully, you see a good performance there. Pirates having again a still strong performance against the Tom Kingdom. I don't expect Pirates to really lose there, but there's a bit of a net worth dip there, which is a little bit concerning for Pirates. But overall, this is Pirates War. So good job, Pirates, for a strong performance. Unknown Kingdom versus Dyslectic Defenders are at it again. This war is only 10 hours in. Looks like they're taking a nice strong lead early on here with the Acres. Let's see if they have the net worth to support it. And they do. They managed to climb on top of Unknown Kingdom, Blue Kingdom, maintain their position there even after the wave. So good work, both of you. I will be pulling the news on this war probably later to see, what kind of dragons and what your pre-war looked like and what kind of rituals you guys are running. So hope to see a nice tough battle there. Again, dyslexic defenders are +1, so I have high hopes for you to take this. Again, honor side of things, you definitely brought them down, did a good job controlling that, taking that, switching that position around. This is exactly what you want to do when you're coming in from a smaller position. Great work, defenders, on this execution and entry into this war. Let's look at the next war. We've got Spirit Drinks versus Barroom Brawl at War. Great work, everyone here. Um, Definitely looks like Barroom Brawl's possibly going to walk away with this one. They do have more players, two more players. So I do expect them to win. However, it looks like Spirit Drinks is giving them a nice fight for their money. So if Spirit Drinks can maintain and sustain, it's very possible they could walk away with this war. I mean, just because you have more players and more acres doesn't mean you're going to walk away with it. But again, see, kind of Barroom Brawl came up here and took the honor kind of from them. However, again, them being two extra provinces up, you kind of expect to see that here. So again, this is definitely Barroom Brawl's war to win. If they lose it, which it's again neck and neck right now, it could be anyone's war. This one is only about 10 hours old, so definitely to make any more decisions on this one, I think I would want to wait till about 24 hours and pull some dragon and ritual data on that one just to see what's going on. Our last war here started only 7 hours ago. Lord of the Rings and Unnamed Kingdom. Looking at the numbers, Unnamed Kingdom is +1, and they're in the larger land position. Let's look at the net worth now. Definitely Lord of the Rings giving them a nice run for their money, neck and neck. This could be anybody's war here. Looking at the honor, Lord of the Rings came in slightly larger. Unnamed Kingdom, Red Kingdom mounting them. However, they're doing a decent job swinging back to take some of that honor back. I don't know if they're capable of it. It doesn't seem like they will be able to surpass Unnamed Kingdom with their one less province. But good luck to everyone in this war. It definitely looks like it's going to be a good fought war. So good luck to everyone, and thank you everyone for going to war. It's what keeps these broadcasts going. Um, I'd like to take a moment just to thank the viewers and everyone at Muga for keeping the game going, and for everyone. Remember, all the live viewers, we do have the chat active now, so if you want to check out the chat, um, I encourage you to use it and ask questions. I'll do a quick little review of the chat at the end just to see if anyone's typed anything, answer any questions I can. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me today for the July 7th Year 1 edition of the WARCAST, Age of Ancestry. This is your reporter, Wind, signing off.